In 27 minutes, you are listening to.
You can be watching, too.
You're watching a graphic. The graphic never changes. Ken and Scott, Postconsumers. I'm Ken.
I'm Scott.
Welcome to the show. Today, we are going to discuss the year in review in post-consuming, not consuming, recycling, etc., etc. How was your Christmas? You have a good Christmas?
It was very mellow, busy.
Yeah?
Busy.
Cool. What'd you do?
Mellow but busy.
It
was... God, here I am contradicting myself again. Just like I did the last one.
Backpedal.
Oh, the holidays.
We love backpedaling.
They just rattle my brain sometimes.
Yeah.
All the consumerism all around me, and
It's annoying. I avoided it as best I could. Did a pretty good job, I think.
Did you buy gifts for people this year?
Nope. I never do. For years ago, I told my family and friends, it's like, I'm not buying anybody anything. None of us really needs anything. I'll donate to charities, you know?
Oh, wow.
But this year, I really didn't even do that because I'm broke, because I'm out of a job. So nobody got nothing. Nobody got nothing this year. Although
Good wishes, at least.
I am still donating to a few charities out there.
Really?
Nowhere near like I was.
Well, that's good.
I'm sponsoring a child over in the Philippines.
Really?
It's $25 a month. I don't know. I can still handle that. So I'm still doing that.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess, I hope I am. They send me a picture and a funny little letter with, hand-drawn, like, cattle and stuff on it. I could be getting ripped off, but it's just Children International. Yeah, it's Children International. They've been around a long time, so I guess it's reputable, but, I feel better doing it, I guess.
If it makes you feel good.
Right, exactly. So hopefully he's an actual person and still alive and well.
And that money probably goes a long way for him.
On
such a lower...
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm not sure about the Philippines, but
it's helping. I'm sure it's helping.
Sponsor people.
Yeah,
their level of consumption is so much lower.
Oh yeah, they live very primitively and in poverty. Something I aspire to. Maybe I'll move in with them. Hey, I'm the guy that gave you all that money. You got a bed? Sweet, thanks.
Hey, you may have a place to stay. So
right. You never know.
Go hang out there. So you're in review, yes. What happened this year for post-consumers? Price of oil dropped, which probably resulted in people driving more. I think I remember reading that.
I don't know if it has or not. I mean, driving around, looking I haven't seen any numbers, but just as the price of gas has dropped, it doesn't look like people are lining up anymore at the pumps. There's still always one open to go fill up. So, it seems like they still got to drop it some more before they get like too many people showing up. I don't know.
Yeah, they're talking it could hit down to $20, $30 a barrel.
Wow.
And that's going to be weird.
Well, that's bad news. I mean, it is bad news. I mean, oil should be $10, $15 a gallon for as much damage as it does.
Well, now is the time when we ought to put carbon taxes in place.
Right.
While the price is so low.
Right.
And use that money to
fix our roads. I mean, that's
infrastructure would be
good.
Yeah.
I mean, the Republicans. Yeah, I think we talked about that at the last one. Is how they want to raise the sales tax to pay for the roads. Did we talk about that last time, or
I don't know.
No. Yeah. Well, that's the latest and greatest plan by our illustrious Republican administrators.
They want to raise the sales tax.
Yeah, they want to. I've been getting these emails from some transportation authority, something or another. They're out of Detroit. I don't know what they're thinking, but this seems to be the compromise that our government has come up to put to the people a ballot initiative that we all vote on in May, I guess. Like everybody's going to be coming out to that, except the right wing nut jobs that are just going to support whatever platform bullshit they spread out.
Right.
So raise the sales tax to 7%, and that's going to pay for our roads. It's going to do a bunch of other stuff too, but everybody knows that sales tax just horribly, disproportionately taxes the poor and the middle class because it's just consumer spending, So, for me to buy a loaf of bread for $1 with 7% on it is proportionally a lot more tax than the rich guy that spends $1 on that loaf of bread, but still pays 7% on that loaf of bread. I mean, who cares? Let's tax his income.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That's what we got to do. We got to start taxing the rich's income, not people buying bread. And I don't know if it's going to tax food or whatever. It doesn't matter what it taxes. It's a sales tax, and that always is disproportionately more burdensome to the people who barely have any money to begin with. Because now, I got to buy something, but it's got to be this much more now than it was 2 months ago because I got to pay for the roads that I probably don't even have a car to drive on.
Yeah, I was just going to point out. Poor people disproportionately don't have cars, or if they have them, don't drive them nearly as much as people of much higher income brackets.
Exactly.
So
it's just
it is putting much more of a burden on them.
Yeah. But then they're like, well, then don't buy stuff. And it's okay. Well, then
right.
That's a great incentive to boost an economy too. It's like, how are we supposed to have a fabulous economy if people aren't buying crap? Mr. Republican. So from both sides of their side, it doesn't even make sense. It's except the side that the rich people get to keep their money because we're not talking about an income tax at all. Heaven forbid. So that's
an earmark it just specifically for road work.
No, there's a whole lot more. I'll
forward me those emails.
Some of it's education.
That's good.
But come on, still, it doesn't matter. I'm going to vote no on it because I'm sick of them poking holes or trying to get water out of a rock.
Okay.
Get the fucking sponge. Go after the goddamn sponges. I'm sick of them trying to squeeze rocks when there's millionaire sponges left and right. That they're that's out of the question because they're the job creators. Whatever.
I know so little about millionaires. I don't know anything about how they live, how they earn
I don't
their
know a
money,
lot of them, but the ones I know, they will tell you the best way to stay rich is keep your money.
You know some millionaires?
Sure. I know at least one. I'm not going to name names. I don't want people knocking on
okay. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And he didn't,
maybe more.
He didn't inherit his wealth at all.
No, he's worked for it, but he's had some luck, quote unquote, along the way too.
We all get strokes of luck. If you're in a position,
and not to mention he's a genius. I mean, he's a smart guy. He's he knows things and how to turn his knowledge into money, and that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how would he stand on his sales tax?
I don't know. He probably. I don't know. I'd have to sit down and talk with him. He's. I'm not going to say he's a lefty by any means, but he's. I think he's reasonable. You can certainly talk to him about this stuff, and if you have a better argument than what the righty side is. I don't know. He just thinks everybody should work at the very least. Just everybody.
I agree with that.
To what end though? Even it's just work. He's one of those people that are like everybody should just have a job, and if you're not working, then you should just get a job, and then you're contributing. But what if your job is a horrible job that does nothing for humanity whatsoever, and that's 90% of people's employment, in my opinion, anymore.
That may be true. That last point on that 90%. But I think if your goal in life, if one of your goals in life, and I think everybody should have this goal, is to try to leave the planet a better place.
Exactly. And there's plenty of jobs that do not cater to that whatsoever.
I totally agree.
Whatsoever.
But in order to accomplish that, does require work.
Yeah.
You have to work to accomplish that.
Absolutely.
You can't do that.
But the problem is there's no incentive.
Not working.
Yeah. I mean, there's no money in fixing things.
Well, I'm not talking about money necessarily, but doing some form of work, whether it be bartering with your neighbors to grow your own food, to build sustainable
but in my friend's mind,
like
it's most likely money that is employment, that is making money.
Well, unfortunately, that's the reality of the situation.
Well, that's
most people's conception of work.
Right. I mean, I feel I'm
what
working.
You collect on that paycheck.
Right. I mean, I think this show I consider part of my work right now.
Absolutely.
It's part of your work. It's getting attitudes and messages out that are not getting out there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they are to some degree, but I like to think we condense it in such a perfectly encapsulated 27 minutes that all anyone
If the
has
last
to
show was
listen to.
any indication of that, at least from my contribution, I beg to differ. And I'm so glad we switched to afternoons.
Yeah. We recorded last week's in the morning, and we were both like, what do you say we move the next one to 3 o'clock? Yeah. It's probably much better. After some coffee and some moving around after a while. Yeah, I'm not a morning person at all.
Well, I feel like I have to accomplish something during the day. Usually in the morning, I'm like,
Right.
It's okay. What do I got to get done today?
Oh, yeah.
And what do I gotta
It was not easy
accomplish?
jumping out of bed this morning. It wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy. 'Cause there's trying to find the thing to do today.
Yeah, well, like the work that I was doing last night before I went to bed was I was reading up on accounting. Accounting measures and new ways of calculating capital in our economic world, and different approaches that are being tried in different
paradigms,
and some of them are quite mainstream. Or at least they're coming from mainstream people, like from the World Bank. Which I know you don't like, but
they do what they do. I mean, they do.
There are
what they
good
do.
people who have worked
they
at the World
fund
Bank.
wars and the famine that follows. They got it. They got it figured out all the way around. So yeah, you can't knock them. Can't knock their success.
Okay, well no, you can't. I mean, they have success. The powers that be.
Yeah.
For one year-end thing that they did accomplish for the year is that they did not destroy civilization.
Good for them.
They did not.
review.
The
people won.
We managed to go another
World
year
Bank,
without
nothing.
the global economy
Right.
collapsing and chaos reigning the streets and the social fabric unraveling
Right.
and Mad Max
Right.
becoming reality. So that's an accomplishment,
Right.
and I attribute that to the
Right.
powers that be and the people at the World
Right.
Bank, because things could have very easily gone that direction.
Right. But they seem to keep us all just on this precarious edge. Our leaders anymore. I mean, we're poking.
I'm not talking about our leaders. Our leaders are not necessarily. The powers that be.
The powers that be at the World Bank affecting our leaders to now churn up trouble again with Russia. I mean, Russia's becoming our enemy again? What the hell
seems
is
to be
going
that.
on?
Okay, this is another interesting year, and I don't follow international global politics that much, except in the context of energy issues.
And I do in the context
I know
of
that
economics.
they went into the Ukraine, or they
Right.
Well, actually, that started in 2013.
Right, but they
wasn't it? But they
ultimate-
entrenched themselves
right.
more, and there's a lot of energy issues surrounding what Russia's doing and what's happening with them right now.
I've been told that this drop in price in oil is we're doing it purposefully to screw up Russia.
Yeah, I ran across that.
I don't know.
That we were behind
Maybe.
it or something.
Who knows? It could be. I don't know how. It's all a global market, though. I don't know. How's it going to screw them up? How could that possibly screw up Russia?
Because so much of their exports are tied to their to the price of oil. This is the way I understand it, anyway.
I don't know.
I mean, they are one of the leading world producers of oil and gas.
They do a lot. We're doing more than anybody, I guess, right now.
For the next couple of years.
That's the thing.
And then those fracking wells and the horizontal drilling and everything, they drop off to next to nothing within just a few years.
And New York just banned it.
Yeah, I read about that too.
So that's a good year-end note. Is New York banned fracking? That's the first domino. That's the first.
Yeah, we need to be leaving it in the ground if we're going to keep global warming.
People need to start electing Democrats if we ever want to see that happening. Not that I love Democrats, but you got a better shot of it happening.
Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Yeah, under their rule than Republicans.
So what happened in Peru?
What happened in Peru? I don't know.
There was global warming talks taking place in Peru.
Yeah?
And they just wrapped up recently.
I don't know. Probably to know nothing concluded.
Most of it was negative, that nothing really was accomplished,
Right.
except they once again agreed to come to an agreement at some point in the future.
Right.
Yeah, but supposedly the Pope, and this, I was looking at that in one of my news feeds this morning, was the Pope is going to call on all of the 1 billion Catholics in the world.
Yeah, or so. Yeah.
Or so. The number.
Yeah, about that.
It seems like
last
it would
I heard,
be
last I
more,
checked.
but maybe the rise of
Birth control.
and birth control too. Yeah, that reduces their numbers.
Right.
He's going to call on them to take action on climate change.
Yeah. And how does he want us to do that?
That he hasn't come up with.
Come up with that.
Come up
yet.
with that. Answer,
Well,
which I'll be very curious to see what he.
You know what he could do? He could start unloading the trillions of accumulated dollars of wealth that the Catholic Church has and just give it as welfare, and then people won't have to go to shitty jobs and
Guaranteed
get a
income.
project. Yeah.
They'll make less stuff.
Well, we'll make
Burn
less
less
stuff.
oil.
We'll burn less oil. We'll start working on the happiness index instead of GDP.
Yay,
That's
that'll
what the
make
Pope
me
can do.
happy.
Yay! Just solve the world's problems. Thanks, Pope.
Yes.
Good job.
Okay, we're done. All right, see you folks in the
You can get yourself
next
another hat.
universe. Another hat?
Another hat.
I
for
have
the
enough
Pope.
hats.
Oh, the Pope.
Oh, the Pope hat.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
got a
the
lot of
Pope.
hats. Little red shoes.
I never really.
Hats. He's quite a fashion plate.
It really? I mean,
yeah.
these are like red shoes are
Yeah.
a big part of it.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Click your heels together.
Right. There's no place like Rome. I think
There's
that's
no
Robin
place
Williams.
like Rome.
I think I'm
There's
ripping
no
off
place.
Robin Williams there, but I could be
I
wrong.
think that was Dorothy and the Wizard of
Well,
Oz.
yeah, but I mean, even the whole Pope thing that I just did there, that might have been Robin Williams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or some comedian.
I am so slow.
It's okay.
It just
It's all
doesn't
right.
register.
It's all right, man.
I need to develop my sense of humor.
What
more.
else?
It's
What-
hard to be funny about the things
Well,
these days.
It is.
Find humor.
That's all you got, though. That's another thing I've realized is with this poverty stuff. We're watching this show called Idiot Abroad on Netflix.
I've never heard of it.
It's hilarious.
Is it
It's,
like the
it's
ugly
Ricky,
American for
the ugly,
the 21st
ugly
century?
British guy, or United Kingdom guy. It's a BBC show. Ricky Gervais.
Oh, the guy from The Office.
Yeah, that guy.
Right? Oh, yeah, he's
And-
really
yeah.
talented.
And
He's
another
amazing.
producer dude whose face and name I can't remember right now. But yeah, they got this
Idiot Abroad.
Yeah, they got this buddy of theirs who I don't know his story, but he just seems like a working class British slob, you know.
Okay.
Doesn't know anything about anything, but has a wit to him. He's funny. And they send him all over the planet. It's in we're in season 2.
Oh my gosh.
And it's one of the best travel shows I've ever watched because they're sending them to China. They made him walk the whole length of the wall of China.
Oh, good
And
Lord,
he
you're
hates
kidding.
it. He's hating like half of it. He hates doing half of it. Every so often they'll give him a decent room, but mostly it's just horrible, horrible abuse of this man around the world.
And he's not an actor. This is
He's
a real
not
guy.
an actor. He
He's
just
a
seems
regular
like a
dude.
real guy. Yeah, just seems like a real guy, and Ricky just tortures him by sending him to horrible parts of the planet. But
I love this
It's a great
premise.
show.
It's a way to educate people.
It
actually,
is, and it really
about the
is.
way that the world actually is, because we
Yeah,
know
it's not
we
glossed
Americans
over.
know so little
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the way the rest of the world works. I mean,
Right.
we think
But
our
everywhere he
little
goes,
one-dimensional
yep.
worldview here is the way everybody ought to think.
And that's the point. And that's
what?
why they sent this slug of a man around the world, you know? And he's just absorbing it all and being forced to do stuff that he is way outside his comfort zone, you know? I mean, he's living with tribes in, huts and stuff.
Oh, good.
And they made him live in a cave, which he actually really enjoyed, because he even said himself, he's like, I'm pretty simple. I could do this. And he's got that accent, which I'm murdering right now. But,
that sounded pretty good.
yeah, but it's a good show. But anyways, my point was when he goes to the poor, horrible spots on the planet, the people are still outrageously happy. They're still all outrageously happy because they know this is probably as good as it's going to get, and they do, and they sing and they dance and they have community, and they're way better off than us, in my opinion, based on that. I mean, they're happier. What else matters? What really matters?
I'd be hard pressed to come up with any answer to that question, really.
I mean, that's I think out of this whole year, that's the thing I'm going to do more research on is this gross domestic happy stuff.
The gross domestic happy stuff. I like how you phrased that. Because
it's
melding together.
It's all that matters. I mean, we've been locked into this totally wrong paradigm for way too long of what defines what's great about a civilization. You know, how much stuff they left behind. It seems that's totally wrong. That doesn't matter at all. It's an indication of what they could accomplish under the thumb of some hierarchy, obviously. But I don't think generally the people need a hierarchy.
You're an anarchist.
I am an anarchist. It's coming around to that again. But I think collectively they can still all be happy without building a pyramid or maintaining an intercontinental highway.
Down in South America.
Well, I mean, we have that. We have that now.
Yeah.
Well, effectively, as soon as we started laying asphalt, we gave ourselves an intercontinental highway. You can drive. I could drive to almost the Falkland Islands from here if I wanted to. You know, the tip of South America.
Falkland.
Yeah, Falklands, whatever. I just remember the skirmish back in the '80s. Whenever.
Oh, that was a great little war.
Yeah, exactly. That wasn't war great back then. They were quick. We drop a few bombs. We go home.
I don't know. Sink a few ships. Kill a few young men.
Yep. All for
raise the GDP a little bit.
Yep. GDP saved. Thank God. How happy are they all? That's the question.
It really does come down to it. You know, what we do in the economy, you know, the economists in neoclassical theory have this thing called a utility function where rational economic actors make decisions based on best available information and then maximize their utility function of happiness, and they have all these equations and stuff like that.
The utility function of happiness? What good is happiness?
Well, yeah, it's
what
it's
purpose
really,
is happiness?
It's so fuzzy.
You can't eat it.
It's all normative, and they like to.
You can't build a bridge on happiness, right?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
I like building stuff. Building stuff makes me happy.
Building stuff's great. Building stuff is
stuff.
great, but is it the ultimate definition of a society's greatness? And that seems to be what everybody thinks right now. I mean, we've got the Empire State Building. Dubai's got 27 million skyscrapers now.
Who?
Dubai, over there.
Oh, Dubai. Yeah.
United,
Over there.
Whatever.
They just keep building bigger and higher, and they're just always those.
Yeah, they got cranes.
With all the
they
oil
got cranes banging into each other over there.
Do they?
Yeah. Well, I don't know that literally. Probably not. I'm sure they're safe.
I'm sure they were careful.
Right. They don't do drugs over there that I'm aware of.
No.
They don't even drink. Certainly not when you're on a high-rise crane.
No, that's the last thing you want to be doing when you're
you don't want a
air,
town full of sociopaths pissed off at you.
Shit around in the air, dropping shit on people.
Right, exactly.
Oh God, we're gonna have to put the not safe for work now for children.
Right.
Swore.
We swear too much on this show. It's okay.
You have not said the F word one time.
No?
Episode, so
Okay.
I don't think so.
Then I'll try to avoid it.
Toning it down.
Right.
So Dubai. We're
just talking about the year in review.
Oh yeah. Oh no, buildings.
Yeah. Our definition of greatness.
But I'm just talking about like building somebody a house or a bridge over a creek.
Yeah.
And just designing it, engineering it, figuring out how to put it together.
Right.
Like that desk I just showed you that I made, that counter.
Sure.
I made that 25 years ago.
Everybody likes making things.
So much fun calculating it out, cutting the little things and figuring out the bolt size and measuring it all out. And then it all comes together and it's like, dang, that was a good job.
Right.
You know?
No, I agree. I feel the same way when I'm working outside anymore. When I'm gardening or farming or planting trees, I don't. Yeah, I mean, if I want to build anything, I want it to be towards those ends anymore.
I guess you always have to ask, what are you building and why?
Right.
What is this work that you're doing?
Yeah.
And why? What is
Right.
it? How is it helping
Right.
other people?
Right. Sometimes it's just a transitional thing. I understand that. I'm in that spot now. You and I are talking about taking on an enterprise. It is probably a transitional form of income revenue.
That's one way of describing it. I
Yeah.
would think.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we plan on doing that stuff forever.
Well, once the environment's all cleaned up, we won't need to worry about environmental cleaning.
Right. But that's a long ways away.
In the meanwhile, there are lots of people
it's a service that's needed, and people have questions.
And as long as people aren't healthy and are
Right.
getting contaminated by industrial operations, I want to do something to make their lives better.
Right. Right. We got to keep an eye on the air quality. Otherwise,
We've done pretty good on that,
right.
though.
I hope so.
It's the soil and the water I'm more concerned about
Right.
these days. But,
Yeah. For sure. So what else? Year in review.
Year in review. We got, a couple minutes left. Let's
About
see.
that.
Is there anything left that we didn't cover?
New economy, oil, GMOs.
Hope.
GMOs are still winning. Let's wrap it up, I guess, maybe with GMOs. That thing in Oregon
I
failed.
still don't know anything about that issue other than
I'm not a fan
what
of them.
we've
And as
talked
far as
about
legislation
before.
goes, just that they failed in Oregon. I think it was Oregon was trying to get Prop 92 through, and it just came down to the courts saying, we're not going to let it go through the courts anymore.
So it's banned in Oregon.
No,
GMOs are banned
not
in
at
Oregon?
all. No, not at all. Not even close. They Monsanto ultimately won their case.
Oh, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, Monsanto won the election case,
Oh dear.
and so the prop lost by only a few thousand votes, which
Oh,
may or
dear.
may not be legally correct, but that's how it ended up. That is legally correct, but whether or not it's ethically, morally, and importantly correct, that's for someone else to decide, I guess. So back
We'll
to
have
square
to have
one there.
another show on GMOs. I'll have to read up on that first,
Right?
though.
Yeah, we can. We certainly can. Hey, look at that!
All right. Another 28 minutes.
Another 28 minutes,
in the
27
can.
minutes.
Hope you guys are finding this
Yep. Well,
interesting, entertaining.
thank you for listening to Ken and Scott's Postconsumers. I'm Ken.
I'm Scott.
Bye bye.
See you next time.